So we've gone through, we've toured the home, we've had a nice rapport, there's a building of bridges, we're good. We sit down at that time, I literally will just go through my book. And for me, there are crucial pages that I hit on. I do not cover this entire listing book with them. I tell them that I'm gonna leave it with them.
Yeah.
Okay, so I do introduce Dave and Scott, and at this point, I make sure that I mention to them that it's a clearly accessible owner, owners.
Yeah.
They are getting directly to Dave and Scott if they so choose. I will never mention another company's name, even when I know I'm competing. It's a big no-no, for me. And industry-wide, you're not supposed to be talking about someone else.
Right.
You're supposed to be talking about you. So I make sure that I hit that point right quick, that's who owns it. They're right there. You need them. You got them, The next one is that introduction page, which I told you guys is individualized, signed already. Okay. I do go over where our office is. There's a map of that in here. I use this page. You don't have to use this page. It's a little bit older, but basically it's beneficial to me. It's where Avery has ranked at one point, okay? Programs and services, I make sure I mention that we have a variety of programs and services that they have access to. We are not, quote, a boutique sitting out there with no services being offered. We have a ton of them, and I cover them very quickly. Okay, this one, the days on market and list price to sales price ratio, I cover that with them. This I usually skip over. RE, I definitely tell them. This is where you really need to become more familiar with these charts. It's really, it's a great chart, and the fact that we're a part of leading RE is huge. You need to mention that, because if they're thinking we're a small company, we are not. And we definitely have a presence. That page proves that. Say it, Sometimes the thing is they know. No, for me, they don't know. I'm telling them. So I'm assuming they don't know any of that. I'm going through it.
Coast to coast in 83 countries.
That's right.
That's right. This particular page is important to me. The statistics on this are changing this year, but only by 2%, by the way. What it is 64% of the time, a current listing, initially, there will be a buyer's agent that's bringing them in to show the listing. 36% of the time, they're on their own. This number is rising. The last stat on this, they're supposed to release at the end of April. The last stat on it, that this has gone up by an additional 3 percentage points. It's obviously because of the internet. Of course. So this number is going to be rising. And what does that mean to them? That means that we have to market to both groups of people. Sticking it in MRIS, you need to say that. Sticking it in MRIS hits this group of people partially. Partially. Doesn't make them stand out at all. What are we doing to this group of people? And then there's my stats since 2005. And here I tell them, because this is an awkward piece for me, and it still is, I'm not one to beat my own drum. She'll tell you I'm super uncomfortable about it, but I do want them to know that, that I do have that. So transactions in 2005, awards, all right there. Okay? If you are new, this is where your reference letters could come in. I use them exclusively for the first 2 years. After I had my first client, they actually wrote me a letter. I added it. I asked everyone that I worked with. It got to a point where this was like a little thick little section for me. And then I, weeded through those, took the older ones out. But you can get started. If you're new, stick your reference stuff here. You don't have to be a top agent to get a listing. I got them with the reference letters. Scott and Dave write a killer letter. Killer letter. I mean, it was pretty good. I put theirs right on top. At this point, I say to them, do you have any questions on the company or my production? I've never gotten a question at this point. Then I say to them, okay, if you have no questions at this time, we're going to look at your marketing piece specifically. This is where you are going to get, these are the things I'm going to do for you. This is individualized to me. Please please get your own, but there's so much here that you can use. You know what I mean? But I want to share it with you guys because Avery Hess does a lot that is for free. And we need to, if you're starting new, Avery Hess is providing you with these things. Take them out and put them together. I've put them together this way because I'm visual. You can do that. You know, you can do the same things. There's a ton that Avery Hess is providing you. Okay.